Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're boarding passengers seated in zones E and F at this time. Your zone number.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome back my co-host, Lee Harris from ATPI Travel. How are you, Lee?
Yeah, good morning to you. Good evening to me. I'm very well. Yeah, good start to the week. Yeah, looking forward to this little interview.
Do you know why it was a good start to the week?
Because I get to see you? Is that
No,
why?
because yesterday was the start to the week, and you didn't have to see me.
That's true. Very true. That's why it was a good start to the week.
Turns out
My week suddenly started to go downhill from Tuesday.
Thanks. You know what? For the man who's sitting there drinking his coffee when I don't even have coffee to make this morning, that's Rich. We'll be talking later. What's going on in the world of travel? There's some good news coming out of Heathrow.
But yeah, good and bad news, really. 2 days of strike action over proposed outsourcing plans at Heathrow Airport have been called off to allow meaningful last-minute talks. That's according to Unite the Union. Nearly 800 members of the union had been set to walk out from May the 7th to May the 13th in a row about outsourcing plans. But last Friday afternoon, the union said strikes due to take place on May the 7th and May the 8th have been called off following discussions between Unite and the airport. Now, the remaining days of the strike action from May the 9th to the 13th are still due to go ahead at this moment. That's pending the outcome of the further negotiations today and tomorrow. The Heathrow spokesperson did say that the Unite has confirmed they will pause their first two strike dates at Heathrow. However, if the strikes do go ahead for the rest of the time, Heathrow have advised people they will be putting in measures in place to limit the delays and cancellations.
Yay.
Yeah, it's a bit thin on the ground what they're going to do, to be fair, to limit them. I wouldn't hold out much hope that they'll be able to do a lot, to be honest with you, especially if 800 people are walking out.
Another joyful summer ahead, and there is news out of Honolulu.
Yeah, the Hawaii Department of Transportation have announced that a runway at Honolulu's International Airport will temporarily close until June the 7th. Hawaiian authorities indicated in a statement that the runway closure was required for extensive maintenance. That's to ensure compliance with the latest standards from the Federal Aviation Administration. Specifically, the organization noted that the runway required paving and drainage work on its shoulders, which are essential for continued safe operations. Now, according to a statement from the Hawaii Department of Transportation, travelers are set to experience delays on inter-island flights departing from the facility during the peak travel day hours. That's between mid-morning to early afternoon. During this time, trans-Pacific arrivals will have priority on the longer runways due to significantly reduced capacity.
You know what? My daughter and mother were just in Honolulu, I think back in January. And I love Honolulu, one of my most favorite places in the world. But from all accounts and purposes, it has gotten so expensive, like way, way expensive.
Really? I've never been. It's a place I'd like to go to. Hawaii and Alaska, two places that I would love to go to, completely opposites. But yeah, no, don't. It's funny because the stories I hear, some people either love Hawaii or they're totally against it. It's a really polarizing place. It seems to be anyway.
I think the reason I love Hawaii is because I went there for the first time back in 1978. So it was,
That was
still,
just so you're aware, 1978. That's the year I was born.
as he takes a sip of his coffee.
As I take a sip of my coffee. So I've literally just rubbed your nose in my coffee and said you're old. So you're welcome.
What a wonderful day for me today. It started off so well. But as I was saying,
Yes.
it wasn't that expensive then, and it was still very much Hawaiian. So the luau's and the open air markets, and it was still very culturally Hawaiian. So for me, that's what sticks in my heart. And I haven't been back. I think I was back again in my 20s, but I haven't been back since then. So probably in my mind is the Hawaii that I really did fall in love with back in 1978 and then again in 1990 something. Everything changes in 20, 30 years. But yeah, and especially prices. Crazy. My daughter, I think, she told me she had a drink at the hotel bar, and this was an okay hotel. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't right on the beach. It was like, what do they call that? One layer back or whatever from the beach. And
Yeah.
her drink was $30.
Got some money to travel there, no?
One margarita was $30.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's a nice price.
Oh, you think? So Hawaii is lovely, but make sure that you have a ton of cash set aside if you want to stay there longer than 3 days. Yeah. Moving on, Delta Airlines has some news.
Yeah, good news for US crew heading to Europe this summer. Delta Airlines has chosen to restart a route it stopped during the pandemic. The airline will operate a daily non-stop flight from Tampa to Amsterdam. Delta Airlines will utilize an Airbus A330, which seats 282 passengers. The aircraft has 34 Delta One lie flat reverse herringbone seats, 21 premium select recliner style premium economy seats, 24 Delta Comfort Plus extra legroom economy seats, and 203 standard economy seats.
And it wouldn't be a travel show without a little bit of strike action out of France.
Yeah, actually, it's all good and bad news, this. So strike notice from air traffic control unions that could have severely impacted travel this weekend has been lifted. However, protest action by an airline is set to disrupt some flights. The air traffic controllers notice originally applied to staff at all French airports and was scheduled for between May the 9th and May the 11th. It would have affected the second bank holiday of the week, which is Ascension, I believe they call it, on Thursday, May the 9th. And people traveling home from a long weekend. Now, arrangements between Union and France's Civil Aviation Authority, though, means the action has been cancelled. However, a walkout of French staff at Vueling, which is a major low-cost Spanish airline, will see many flights to and from France cancelled between May the 8th through to May the 12th. French unions, most notably the CGT and FO, are backing the strike, which is over poor working conditions. Now, for any crew who are booked on Vueling flights to or from France, please keep in contact with the airline and your travel management company.
I don't know about you, but with all the strike action, wouldn't it just make sense to give these people like the pennies per hour raise or the dollar per hour raise, euro, whatever that they're requesting? Wouldn't that be cheaper than dealing with nonstop strikes year in, year out?
This is the thing that amazes me. Surely it must be, because at the end of the day, the people are not asking for an outrageous, they're not asking for 50, 60, 70% raises. It's in line with inflation or slightly above inflation. So you would think that surely it would be more cost effective to pay the people the wages that they've earned and they're right to, rather than having to go into negotiations for months on end, then strike action, and then delays of flights, the cancellations of flights. Yeah, you would think so. Clearly, Vueling and other airlines who dig their heels in the ground know better than what we do.
And then we're talking about crew retention as well, because people are sitting there and they're seeing their wages decrease because the price of inflation goes up. And they're obviously not even making as much as they were 5 years ago because of the price of inflation and the fact that their wages haven't risen. What if they quit? And then you're faced with an entirely brand new hiring process where you've got to train, you've got to get people in the right positions, the screw ups that are inevitably going to happen as a result of having green crews straight across the face of the planet. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just say, but that's probably why I'm not CEO of a company.
Then you're right. It probably is the reason why we're not. We're just giving everybody what they want when they want it.
No, that's not necessarily true. I'm sorry for you, Lee. Right, moving right along. More news from Delta out of Auckland.
Yeah, so Delta Airlines are set to suspend its Auckland service over the winter in a move that will likely push up prices for Kiwis traveling to and through the United States. Delta was the first of 3 American airlines to announce a seasonal service between Auckland and Los Angeles in 2023. Now, when United and American Airlines followed, Delta made its non-stop route a year-round service. But just 6 months after it made its New Zealand debut, the airline has confirmed plans to pause the route. A Delta spokesperson said that the airline would suspend a service from August through to October to better fit our schedule to the seasonal demand environment. The airline plans to resume the route at the end of October. Now, for any crew who are already booked on the Delta flights which have been affected, please reach out to the airline or your travel provider on what options will be available to you.
Or just book through Lee.
It'd be a lot easier. Yeah, anybody listening, just book everything through me. So much easier for everybody.
I agree.
Yeah.
serve it with a smile and a bit of sarcasm.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Exactly right. I can put sarcasm in an email if they need it, they want.
You're so good at it. You're so good at it, I gotta say. And of course, to all those crew out there that have questions, feel free to send Lee an email. And if it's important, Lee will take a drink of coffee to rub it in.
He will.
If it's important, Lee will get back to you right away. And if it's something that can be talked about on our next show, that we will do. So I got to say thanks, Lee, for coming on board and rubbing in your coffee.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. You've been watching another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next time.